everyone, I hope you're all well. Welcome to my channel. This is where I talk about twin flame process, and this is a reading for the energy as we approach the full moon, which is going to be at 9:23 p.m. On Saturday, October 28th in the UK, and we're approaching it Aries, and then it's moving into Taurus. And I'm just looking now. Yeah, I thought so. We're in Aries right now. So picked up the cards, and I had the Queen of Wands jumping out. So it's about feminine vibration and also Aries. So we're having a very fiery build up to this moon. So just to talk from a personal perspective as well, because what I've noticed and come to into a full understanding of is the amount of triggering that you enter into in this process towards the end of the process. So it's like multiple level triggering. So you might find that you're coming across like several triggers all at once, or like one after the other, like a chain event of triggers, and like triggering you, or maybe into like almost a panic attack or feeling, because it's all about the feelings, you see. So it's about clearing negative feelings, this Aries energy. So, and that's clearing through the feminine, but for the masculine. So it's about you experiencing how it feels to feel like you're unraveling, basically. Like all the shit is hitting the fan, like life is just as worse as it can be. Like, like I say, multiple triggers going off, like, oh my God, I can't believe that's happened. Oh, and that's happened. And then that happens. It's kind of like that energy. Because we've got this rollover energy of this Aries, which is starting now. And I don't know if it was yesterday, it might well have been. And it's all the way through to Saturday before it clears into Taurus on Sunday. So it is a lot of build up, basically, of this fire energy coming along for the feminine to experience this unraveling. And it's an emotional unraveling. So it feels like you're going to go into it feeling really like heightened senses. So very emotional, maybe feeling like you want to cry, like on the verge of crying, uncontrollable emotions, and feeling just really like heightened, and like you're on a knife edge, like ready to like blast off, basically. But it's not going to happen. So it's just a build up of energy, and then it's going to move into Taurus while the moon is still full. So it's going to go into like a really like grounded, earthly energy. A very Taurus is all about relaxation and luxury and comfort. So it's going to be moving into this like really like almost completely the opposite kind of an energy, really, where you're going to feel just like released. So it's a build up, a crescendo in this fire, and then it's going to be a release into like what feels like sublime, pleasant. Tauruses are all about pleasantness, and everything being nice and gentle and easy and as relaxed as possible. So it's going to move into that like a very flowy kind of an energy afterwards. So that's what they're saying first of all. So we'll leave her out there. I'm just going to shuffle these a bit more because I literally just started. So they're showing me in my head, I just got the Judgment card, which is destiny. Then I've got the Six of Pentacles, which is someone reaching out in the physical, and they're talking in regard to that physical connection. There's a thing, there is a build up to that coming. And it is the energy of something building into a physical manifestation. So again, Aries, energy, and Taurus, physical. So it's a build up of energy coming into a physical manifestation, and it's coming, you will feel it coming through you. So you're going to feel it's basically you are going to be releasing for the masculine to move forward and manifest into your life, basically. So let's get some cards out. See what the cards say. A lot of tension building as well. So you're going to get physical sensations, maybe in the back of your neck, not being able to sleep at night. They're saying that kind of thing, really tense shoulders. It's the weight of the world on your shoulders. So, the masculine carries this wounded energy, which is like weighing them down. So you're going to feel all that like tension that's the build up inside of them, coming into you, and then it's going to release, and it's going to be a nice feeling after the moon. That's all I'm getting so far, right? So it's not like I'm getting a load of story about that just yet. Seven of Swords, fear. Carrying fear, they're saying. Page of Swords, which is mental energy, messages, and ego as well. Burden of fear, they're saying. Oh, and then Ace of Swords, which is a massive communication coming through. So brand new communication, and noteworthy, they're saying, communication. So something really stand out, profound, representing, they're saying it represents the whole of your life. So it's like everything that you've gone through is manifesting into this communication, which is the whole of your life has been about this, coming through to this point, they're saying. So, and they're talking about the masculine as well. So it being about the whole of their life coming to this point as well. There's been a lot of resistance inside the masculine energy of this, what is this that needs to be said here in the Ace of Swords. A lot of resistance of saying it. This feeling that comes through the feminine at this time of this moon is the build-up of saying it, right? So it's like where this energy is moving through, and it's the energy of fear, and it's the multiple triggering, that it's a feeling basically that comes through along with this. So if you think like the triggering is the fear that you're going to experience, so multiple triggers happening one after the other, and how you react to those triggers one after the other as we approach the moon, and your experience of that, and also what comes after that. So when you experience triggers and you go into fight or flight experience, which is also how you have a panic attack. So it's not really necessary that you have panic attacks, or that you could say, oh, I'm a person that have panic attacks. It's just the experience of fight or flight. So it's like it's like survival mode basically. So thriving is where like everything's fine and you just function and there's nothing going on that's like you're reacting to. But triggering is where something's happening and you're reacting to it, and it's a matter of survival. It's a case of you or me or you, they're saying, or you or them, I should say. So it's like a case of you coming up against something where it's a clear-cut case of it's me or them. Either I survive or they survive, but I've got to survive. So you're going to find yourself coming up against situations where you are asked to address your fear in a way that's about survival. So it may be that you lash out, but this is the thing, right? Because when you lash out in a panic attack, you go out of consciousness, you black out, which is the scariest thing about a panic attack is that you don't remember it afterwards always. You don't know what you're doing at the time. It's completely out of your control. You can't stop it when it's happening. But this is about, it's like they're saying it's a very approaching energy. So it's like as we come up into this moon, it's because we're approaching the moon, right? It's like you're approaching that limit of your own fear. So you're approaching the limit of your own fight or flight symptoms. So you might go so far into like almost a panic attack, almost, well, it is fight or flight, but without causing any supreme reaction coming along. So it might be, yes, you shout at somebody, but you don't go, you're not stabbing them, for example. It might be that the anger comes up, the aggression comes up, because that's part of the fight or the flight. It's the fight, right? But you don't go overboard, basically, because then we've got the mind coming along here, which is about, and this is small mind, it's like ego, and it's temperance, they're saying. So it's tempering that energy of panic, basically. So you're going to experience what it is to temper that energy of fear. And that is for the masculine, so that they are in a zone, they are located mentally, Page of Swords, in a zone where they are able to temper their own fear. So they are not overcome by their own fear, and they're not lashing out because of their own fear. And they're in control mentally of their own fear, they're saying, which this communication can come about when they have come into like a modus operandi of managing their own fear. So that's what it's about, right? Created through the feminine. And then let's get these ones out. Queen of Cups. So just go with the flow. right? And know that whatever it is that you're facing in your physical reality prior to this moon moving into Taurus is meant to be. Everything is meant to be as it is, right? So it could be whatever it is that you're experiencing that those triggers are, they're meant to be happening. So it's like, don't fight against it in a way that is like, this shouldn't be happening to me. Just know that it should be happening to you and understand it's for a reason. And maybe that reason is that you go into the fight or the flight symptoms, and it doesn't build to like bursting point. It just goes so far and then it comes back down again. And they're saying there's a logic to this. This small mind here, Page of Swords, it's like the logic of what's happening is the experience and how it's affecting the vibration. Not just, well, it's a shared vibration, twin flames, shared vibration. So it's a one vibration. So we could say it's your vibration, but if you're twin flame, it's both vibration. You share a vibration with the person that's your twin flame. So it's about that's the logic of what's going on, right? Is what they're saying. And so to not fight against the symptoms that you're experiencing, maybe even you're gonna know from a higher level, because we're approaching a full moon, which is higher consciousness. Maybe you're even going to see that from a higher level, what is going on with you. It has got a higher purpose, because this has got a higher purpose than just like, oh shit, I'm getting triggered repeatedly today. What a shit day, which is the ego, right? It's like the higher consciousness. Oh, this is some miraculous triggering going on, right? That's obviously leading to something miraculous, because I have not experienced this amount of miraculous triggering for a very, very long time, right? Something like that. A different way of like, so there's going to be a lot of joy, they're saying, despite the fact you're getting triggered. So again, you won't go overboard, you will actually come back down. If you think about it, your energy body, you're going to go up, right? And then you're going to come back down again. Like at the fair, when somebody hits the hammer onto the thingy and it goes whoo, and it doesn't quite hit the top and go ding, it just goes halfway up and comes back down. So the triggering's not going to go, it's not going to manifest into something that you come away from going like, oh God, that was awful and I was really terrible and I lost myself, right? You're going to come away from it going, well, actually they were assholes and they deserved that little thing that I shouted at them, and I feel fine about it and I feel grounded, because we're moving into that grounded Taurus energy afterwards, right? Which is comfortable energy, which is feeling comfortable with yourself, right? So go with the flow with what's going on. The moon in the middle. It's just the moon that's coming up, right? It's all about the moon. And then we've got emotions, 7 of Cups. So just also be aware of your emotions. I mean, I don't mean you need to change your emotions. And I don't mean you need to say, oh God, I'm being really emotional. I shouldn't be emotional. I wish I didn't feel emotional. Just, you can look at yourself, see what's coming up. Because, for example, I've just come in the house from a repeated series of triggers. And it's all dissipated now. It went from like the triggering, and there was a lot of anger, and then there was some fear, of like myself getting triggered, and oh my God, am I having a panic attack? And then it went into like, I got back in, I was like in the house, I was like, oh my God, I feel like I'm going to cry. And then I felt like I was going to vomit, right? And it didn't. And then it all just went away. And then I'm like, actually, I feel fine now. All in this like really rapid fire series of like events that's led to like a different feeling, right? So it's about clearing feelings, right? So it's about coming into, like say, Taurus is a comfortable position following the moon, but it's got to be a build up to something that clears into a comfortable position. It can't just, aren't going to go from nothing now to a comfortable position without experiencing some discomfort, basically, is what they're saying. So just go with the flow. Just me personally, I am going to go and sit down and have a few glasses of wine, because it takes the edge off my reality. So I'm not saying anybody has to do that if they don't want it, but I'm just sharing what I do, because it helps me relax, and it helps me to like just take the edge off the reality that I'm in, which I find very helpful. And so just sharing that, because sometimes she can mean having a drink for me personally. Right, so and then we've got 3 of Wands, which is more vibrational and on the horizon. So something incoming that is just vibrational. through the moon, which is communication here, brand new communication. They just said the lid coming off it. So it doesn't matter where you're at with your twin flame, the lid coming off it means something being said that needs to be said, right? Something jumping out of the box that needs to be said. So it could be anything. I don't know, different for everybody, but that's what that is. Following the moon. Nine of Pentacles, which is the feminine in her power. So your power here is like just who you are in your life, basically, in how you're relating to your own self, the Page of Swords, your own mind, your own ego. So there's maybe a lot of here of like deliberate triggering, this vibrational you, right, which is creating through deliberate triggering the powerful you in the physical, which is you just being at one with whatever it is that's going on in the physical, which is then arriving at the Taurus physical comfortable position with everything that is. So just saying it's more mastery for the feminine over just like owning the present moment, like not fighting against the what is of the present moment, because they said at the beginning, right, something about it being about a whole life experience. So your life is about your twin flame experience. You're here for a twin flame experience, which is about your arrival in your sense of ultimate power in your physical existence as who you are. So there's something there about that as well that's coming along. So there's a huge amount of power coming for the feminine following this moon, an arrival in self that is just like a profound sense of a right to be whoever you are and know yourself and have what you're going to have and not do what you don't want to do and do what you do want to do and be what you want to be and not be what you don't want to be and not be anything for anybody else and just be for you and that alone, right? There's a lot of competence, they're saying, coming for the feminine in terms of just like, it's almost like this triggering is so you can say to yourself, well, actually, I'm all right. Yes, I did just nearly get triggered. Yes, I did just tell someone to mind their own business, whatever it is that happens. But you know what, I'm all right, because maybe they needed it. Maybe I felt like I needed to do that. Maybe it's not panic and fear. Maybe it's just I felt like I needed to state my case. Ultimate power, they're saying. So, and in that, there's an arrival, right, at yourself, where you can just like, and they're saying in Taurus, you're just like brushing. They're showing me you like the feminine, like brushing something off her shoulders, like just brushing things off, like letting it go. Like, oh well, that's that. And of course, you are your twin, so that would be the masculine. Also, just like having a sense of like just brushing it off. So whatever it is they've got to say, they can say it, and then it's said and it's done. Let's get this one out here, and then we've got Ace of Pentacles. So we've got coming from fear at the beginning of the moon, and then coming into a brand new beginning in the physical, which again is that Taurus energy, and just everything just being a state of calmness and oneness. Right, at one, the one, as just being at one with oneself, basically, which is at one with everything. After the moon, and what's underneath, we've got Four of Cups, so we've got everything kind of out of place during this moon. So it's like position, people being moved into position for something to happen, they're saying. It's like everything seeming like you don't know what's going on, basically. So it's not predictive, right? It's like you don't know why things are happening, maybe, or what's going on. It could appear like something's one way and then it turns out to be another way, they're saying. So everything's up in the air, they're saying. So it's like a fluctuation, right, in the emotions. You're bringing in a grounding for the emotions. The Four is about grounding emotions underlying this moon. So where you're going off, right? So what happens with a panic attack or a trigger? You go off center. You start to manifest verbally, possibly, physically, possibly, emotionally, mentally, like all shit hits the fan, right? So you go right off center. You don't know what's going on. You don't know why you're reacting like that. And it's like losing yourself a little bit, right? So they've got that underneath the moon in terms of emotionally, and then this experience here, right, which are variants of emotions and one to the next emotion. So and in that there's a lot of change and there's a lot of restructuring of what comes of something or other, right? Because like I say something or another because they're saying it's like multiple possibilities and opportunities for you to reorganize the vibrational self. Let's just see, which is the two of you. Let's just see what they say on all of these. The moon, happiness coming, 9 of cups. So that's a really good feeling coming after the moon and from the moon and because of the moon and because of before and after and what's going on with the moon. And underneath the 4 of cups, ending in the brain, 10 of swords, which is the death of everything, ending of fear, basically, in the mind. And a multiple, 10 is the highest you can go, right? It's like in this tarot card, in the tarot cards, it's like loads of triggers going off from one to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next, to like reorganize. And we've got brain and emotions, and masculine is the brain and feminine is the heart. So it's reorganizing all of that. It's the whole thing with us showing like the energy going up through the chakra system, right? And everything, you know, how it connects, and you connect into like your brain and your, you know, and your emotions, and it all connects in. So something in that, but ending up in a 9 of cups feeling of goodness. And that's, again, because they're showing it like flashing by, right? Like these energies, like react, respond, react, respond. So trigger, like all shit hitting the fan, all feelings hitting the fan. Like I said, you know, I went from like feeling terrified, feeling worried, feeling stressed, feeling unhappy, feeling angry, feeling I was going to cry, feeling I was going to vomit in 10 minutes. In the space of 10 minutes, 10 underneath, and then feeling fine again, right? So we just say that there, and then let's go 7 of swords, fear, vibrational connection. So it's the fear being cleared from the vibration of oneness, that is you and your twin. 8 of wands is the vibrational connection. So and that's the fact that you have the same, you are the same vibration beyond your physical selves. You are the same oneness. I mean, I can't say being because you're not really a being. Soul, I don't really count, I don't see it as soul. Vibration, you're the same vibration. Brand new beginning in the physical. King of Cups, we've got heart of the masculine coming out, so it's bringing them into the heart. And you know, this is also really Taurian as well. I know it's not an Earth, but Taurus is ruled by Venus, so it's the love, it's the hearts as well, and it's like that sense of satisfaction, they're saying, and a sense of feeling good that's coming following the moon for the masculine. It's the masculine feeling good, getting a weight off their chest, they're saying, getting something off their chest. So it's this communication here, Ace of Swords, masculine and feminine coming together in the Chariot. So it's a big one, right? Major Arcana, communication. This is twin flames sharing the same soul, the same Merkaba, the same vibration. Masculine and feminine identity in one being. 3 of Wands and Temperance, which is the link between them as well. Dark and the light, brain and the heart, from the dark to the light. On the horizon, from the dark to the light. And that's moving from Aries to Taurus through a full moon, heightened awareness, heightened experience, and higher consciousness. Through that moon there, happiness. Higher consciousness is happiness. Page of Swords and higher self. So like they said before, right, it's like you're able to see yourself in the situation. I mean, even if it's just like everything is meant to be as it is, which is higher self, what higher self says to everything, right? About everything. Everything is exactly as it's meant to be. Everything is happening exactly the way it's meant to be happening, especially twin flame process, because everything happens in your life. Everything is that process. Everything is about that process. That's what you're here for, right? So it's just a higher way of looking at everything. and understanding. And they said earlier about being able to see yourself and kind of like view what's going on with you from like the logic of that higher self. Said something like that, right? I can't quite get back into it now what they said, but something like that. 9 of Pentacles for your power, basically. And a state of no mind, 4 of Swords. So a state of not worrying, basically. Coming into a position of not being worried about anything, which is entirely the opposite of fear. Queen of Cups, process moving through the feminine, created through the feminine as it always is. 7 of Cups, multiple triggers, and 2 of Pentacles from one to the other. So you're experiencing what you need to experience for your masculine to move forward into the physical through you, to take away the, they're saying, the pain and the shame. Queen of Wands, and happiness and joy, creation of happiness and joy. So the link, there's the linking that's going on, basically, is that you're going to experience that oneness with everything is as it's meant to be. Everything is happening exactly the way it's meant to happen. A sense of I'm all right no matter what. What I'm going through, I'm meant to be going through. I can be happy about everything, even though I've just been triggered. I can be happy because it's meant to be happening. Something like that. And also just the energetic, because that experience that I had going from all those feelings to feeling like I'm going to vomit to then feeling absolutely fine and happy again that's not conscious. That's beyond conscious control. So it's created through your energy body, right? It's particularly that vomiting feeling. If you get that, it feels like just like like the power of the vibration coming through, like from beyond the physical self, because it doesn't make any sense at all, feeling like wanting to vomit because of just being alive, right? Without being sick or anything, It's just, it's a vibrational thing. So anyway, so that's what I've got for you. Vomiting out fear. And then arriving in a sense of feeling good as we move just beyond the moon. And I'm getting that to be once it's going into Taurus, which I think is very late on Saturday night in the UK. I'm not sure what time. Anyway, one more on there. Ace of Wands, which is vibrational oneness, right? Bringing you into the point of attraction where you have the manifestation. Let's see what's underneath. Of form. Page of Pentacles, which is a manifestation in form. Let's go one more out. Of energy. That's not the last one. The manifestation of energy. What's the next one? Of the separation. Of the twin flames. That's not the last one either. Of that. That's the last one. The manifestation of the wounded warrior, of the masculine, right? That you're in separation from, in whatever way you're in separation from it. Whether it's even just that they're in your vicinity and there's just something they need to get off their chest, right? Because everything is a separation. If you're not saying the thing that you really feel like you want to say, right? You're still separate from what you want to say, right? A brand new beginning from the heart. So it's just separation from what needs to be said, really. That the masculine's coming into a version of them that's able to say what they want to say. Whoever they are, wherever they are, that's what's coming after the moon. And her, right, and she's the Taurus energy after the moon. It's this grounded feminine energy that it comes through. So it's coming through because the feminine is going to be grounded after the moon because of what they've gone through before the moon, which is like a huge amount of triggering and fear. And a realization through that experience, you know what? I'm all right. It doesn't matter. It is what it is. I got triggered, so what? That's the thing, right? It is, and they just showed, there he is. the King of Pentacles, which is the masculine made manifest. The World, completion of the emotions and what's not grounded, and go with the flow. So that's it. I'll leave it with you. I hope you enjoyed the reading. If anybody wants to get a reading or personal session or anything like that, my details are in the description box below. Lots of love. Take care. Bye.